Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And this week I am using the Modern Witch Tarot. Now I have to be honest with you here, this is my third attempt at doing this video. I tried a couple other decks before this and I just couldn't do it. I was really having trouble reading the cards and I was stumbling on my words. I was really struggling, and then I just chose this deck because this deck is really easy to read with. So hopefully this reading will be good. All right, so let's get started. So my intention here is to get kind of an overview of the week ahead, to get, ooh, death, really intense. So each card represents a different portion of the upcoming week. This first card represents Monday and Tuesday. And the idea here is just to get some insights, some fresh ideas about the upcoming week. So we have a Death, which is a major arcana card, and it represents the beginning of the week. And it's interesting to start the week off on such an intense note. And the message I'm getting from this card is to be kind of ruthless when it comes to purging and kind of clearing out your life. So I like to think of the analogy of, going through your closet and getting rid of things that you haven't worn for a while. And every few weeks, I would say I do it once a month, maybe not quite that often, but I'll go through my house and I'll clear out just kind of the little piles of junk that accumulates, receipts and wrappers and note paper and just crap that just sort of, old mail, things like that. Because I find that stuff like that accumulates. And I think that that's kind of a metaphor for the other areas of our life too. I mean, that's how crap accumulates on the physical plane, but we also have that kind of clutter and junk that I think accumulates on the mental plane, on the emotional plane, on the spiritual plane. And I think sometimes the little piles of junk that, and maybe not everyone has this around their living space, maybe it's just me, but I think it's probably everyone. I think that can represent, that's like the physical representation of, mental clutter and emotional clutter. And so every now and then we have to clear out that clutter so that it doesn't bog us down. Because think of I'm kind of going to go off on a tangent here, but I hate it when my workspace gets cluttered like that. And it's cluttered like that right now, believe it or not. There's so many books and pieces of note paper and lists and stuff that are everywhere in my office right now. And I really have to clear it out. So, okay. So what I'm getting with Death is that the beginning of the week, we need to focus on clearing stuff out and clearing out just the junk that accumulates over time. And that might be emotional junk. It might be mental, like all those little thoughts that aren't helpful, those mental patterns that don't really serve you in a good way. Things that you're kind of worrying about that you probably really don't need to be worrying about, stuff like that. So finding a way to kind of cleanse that, clear that out. Let's have a look at the middle of the week. Because I feel like the success of this week is kind of dependent on how you clear that clutter at the beginning of the week, so that you kind of start this week with a fresh slate, really. Okay, so we have the Sun. So I love this because it's interesting. These two cards are so different, Death and the Sun, yet they're so similar in their imagery. There's someone on a horse. With Death, there's like a skeleton, the death figure on the horse. With the Sun, there's a child. Both figures are riding a white horse and with gray hair, and both figures are carrying a flag. And And in both cards, we see the sun is prominent here, but we see the sun peeking out in the background of death. So it's like as the week progresses, that sun just gets bigger. And it's like once you clear out the clutter, whether it's physical clutter, emotional clutter, mental clutter, spiritual clutter, it's like you provide more room, or you clear out the things that are blocking the sunshine. So you allow that goodness and that warmth and those rays to shine down on you when you clear out that clutter. So it's a beautiful message, I think. So middle of the week is the sun. Now the sun it's a very positive card. It's also very playful. There's a child on this card. She's kind of playing in this garden. And it's a reminder to tap into your playful nature. And I think sometimes we get caught up in taking life very seriously, and sometimes there's just a lot happening in our lives that force us to be in that serious mode or worry mode or fear mode, and we totally turn our backs on that playful side of ourselves. So the sun is a reminder to find a way to tap into that playful, joyful, creative side of yourself. And so maybe even just think right now, how can I do that this week? What would help me do that? So for me personally, even just getting my pencils out and a sketchbook, that helps me kind of get into that mode. Yeah, that's like the main thing is art and paint and stuff like that. That helps me get into a playful mode. Okay, let's look at the last card for the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have Three of Cups. So this is really nice to see this card here. Actually, it's interesting because we started off on a very intense note with death. And I don't see this card as being negative or scary in this reading at all. It's really about clearing out the old, clearing out the clutter to make room for the good stuff. And to give yourself breathing room too, right? And so with the Three of Cups, end of the week, this is a card of celebration and friendship and connection and laughter. So in a way, kind of similar to the sun, there's this playful kind of letting your hair down sort of energy. What is it is there something that you're celebrating this weekend or even this week? Is there something that is worth celebrating? Another thing I get with the Three of Cups is this is about connecting with people in a fun way. So who in your life can you connect with and maybe just share some laughter, some chit chat, maybe a bit of gossip, who knows? Because that's kind of what this card is all about. It's about celebration and having fun. And even if you're just on your own right now and maybe it's not possible to connect with others or you don't feel like it, then make sure that you set aside some time this weekend for just like dancing on your own, celebrating, pouring yourself a drink of one of your favorite drinks or something like that. Yeah, and I think more than anything, what I'm getting from these cards, especially the Sun and the Three of Cups, is that this week it's important to cultivate fun, pleasure, laughter, and also I think it's time to kind of tune into your extroverted side. Both the Sun and the Three of Cups have a strong extroverted energy. This is about connecting with people, sharing yourself, laughing, being social. So if you're able to tap into that side of yourself this week and this weekend, I think that's going to do a lot to actually recharge your batteries. Even if you're normally an introverted person, I think being in more of an extroverted mode this week will actually help fill you up and recharge your batteries. Okay, so I'm just going to look at these three cards again. and see if there's anything else I want to mention. And as always, I invite you to share your own ideas and interpretations of these cards in the comment section. So you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm noticing a figure, the little girl in the bottom of the death card is kneeling, and she's holding up a flower, looks like a rose or something, to the death figure. And this is interesting to me because all the other figures, well, the older woman is kind of praying. One woman's turning away. There's one guy who looks like he's dead. The king with his crown on the thing. But the little girl is like offering this rose to the death figure. And I think that's interesting. It's like she's welcoming death. And the little girl on the horse in the sun has her arm up, like she's waving in celebration. And then the three women in the Three of Cups have their arms up holding cups. So there's that repeated imagery in all three cards. And it's about kind of like celebrating something, honoring something, greeting something. That feels really positive to me. All right, so that has been your tarot card reading for this week, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you've found this reading helpful. I hope it gave you some ideas, and if you want to learn more about tarot cards, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link in the description box below this video, and there's tons of fun tarot learning resources on my website. I've got tarot spreads, tarot tutorials, deck reviews, exercises, lots of fun stuff, so be sure to check it out. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.